Welcome to Bikers and Backroads, a podcast about all things Harley-Davidson. We're your hosts, Jason and the Big Z, so sit back and join us as we go into this week's episode of Bikers and Backroads. Thanks again for downloading the latest episode of Bikers and Backroads. Again, we're your podcast location. Anywhere you're getting audio podcasts, we're on Spotify, Amazon, Apple iTunes. We're on Instagram at Bikers and Backroads. You can also find us on TikTok at Bikers and Backroads. And you can find us on Twitter at BNB_pod. Please like, share, and subscribe. Everything you see and we do, leave us a review on those platforms. It helps us grow. It helps us interact with you better. And as we always say, whether you're an experienced biker or you're just dreaming of owning your first Harley or whatever you choose to ride, we believe we've got something to offer you here on Bikers and Backroads. We're just two guys sitting around talking about bikes. Our bikes of passion, of course, are Harley-Davidsons. And we hope to offer you some things. So, what's up, man?
Not much. Been celebrating this, Thanksgiving. Had the week off. I know a lot of people have been working. I was luckily blessed enough to take the week off. Done some deer hunting. No luck yet. But, hey, we're going to try again, hopefully. How about you, Dad?
Easy week for us this week. 2 days of work. We get the rest of the week off. We're recording this actually on Thanksgiving night. So by the time you see this, Thanksgiving will be over. But we've had a wonderful day spending time with family. We do one side of the family today. We'll do the other side of the family tomorrow with dinner and hanging out and things. And I'm sure it'll be just as great as today was. But we've had a great time. We're very blessed. I'm very thankful, super thankful. We put out a post today on the YouTube side of I'm just thankful for the ability that we started this new venture this year and that people are coming along and listening to us on the audio side and watching us on the video side. And I think we're just going to keep growing. We're going to put out content. I'm hoping through this holiday season, if people are sitting around at family gatherings or whatever and scrolling their phone and looking for some content, we're going to have something to offer them. But this is super fun for me, and I really enjoy it. So thankful and blessed to have been able to do this. So we got a few things, our normal topics this week. So you want to start us off with topic number one?
Yeah, first thing we want to talk about again today, guys, is our safety tip. So recently we talked about our safety tip was, tire up, changing out tires or tire upgrade, and then also, checking your belt and making sure, it's in good and wearing properly, it's in proper tension and things like that. Well, we also thought about if you're down there in that area already, a great thing to go ahead and check is your brake pads. Everybody wants to go fast, but you got to be able to stop, and your brake pads are going to make sure that happens. You can do all kinds of things from, you can go stock brake pads. That's going to give you what you're used to. You can go with, upgraded, more performance, stronger, great brake pads that are going to give you more grip if you're looking for that little bit of extra oomph and trying not to do a full brake system. But your brake pads, they're a wearable part. They're going to go out. They're not going to wear as fast as many people think, but if they're wearing awful fast, you might want to check that out and make sure you don't get a problem, because the last thing you want to do is have metal on metal. You'll tear up rotors, you'll lose braking power, and you can just have a lot of problems. But yeah, brake pad wear is a thing. Make sure you're checking that. Especially on the front, they say, your front brake's 70% of your braking power, so they might wear out faster than your rears. But definitely coming up in the winter, this is a great time to go ahead and change those. That's probably a good habit to get into anyway, is checking your brake pads and making sure that they're wearing properly. You don't want to have an unevenness. That could, be all sorts of problems, from a problem with your rotor, or maybe you've got an actual problem with your caliper and it needs replaced. You're not getting the right, amount of pressure and where it's supposed to be. So yeah, make sure you're checking your brake pads. We don't want anybody to not be able to stop, but you need to be able to slow down.
Yeah, brake pads are cheap, actually. And they're easy to do. You don't have to be very handy to be able to change your own brake pads. It's a couple bolts, slide some pins, put the pads in. They'll only go in one way and everything go back together, and it goes on to your rotor. At the same time, you're checking for rotor wear and heat warp. And, you ride your bike and then you put it up, and you ride it and you put it up. So it goes through a lot of heat cycles. And a lot of motorcycles, the best way to warm up your tire is accelerate, brake, accelerate, brake. You see a lot of people that go side to side thinking they're heating up tires like a car, and that's not always the best advice to heat up motorcycle tires. A lot of it's acceleration and braking, even if it's just in a straight line, it's just putting heat through there. But you're also heating up where surfaces are metal or semi-metallic, rubbing on metal. But another thing to check is your brake fluid. The brake fluid goes bad. It gets water in it, and it'll lose its ability and its viscosity, and then you start to get fade, and it won't be your pads at all. And it's a simple flush of your brake system. And I mean, if you're just looking for things to tinker on in your garage, these are simple, easy things to do that you don't have to run to the dealer or a shop and have done. If you have a couple simple tools and some patience, you can easily check your brakes, brake pads, and your fluids. So topic number 2 tonight, I saw this week, and we're King of Baggers fans. We talk about that all the time. But Indian has a whole new change for next year. And again, we're Harley people, so I'm not attacking Indian. I believe racing is good for the market. It drives R&D. It brings things to consumers. What happens on the racetrack gets handed down to models of bikes a couple generations later, or even a year or two. I mean, this class races stock clutches. So these are things you're seeing on your baggers on both sides, Harley and Indian as brands. But Harley-Davidson this week announced that they are no longer going to be a title sponsor with S&S. Their title sponsor is going to be Vance and Hines.
You mean Indian? Indian is going to be Vance and Hines.
Indian, sorry. Thank you for correcting.
I caught that, yeah.
Vance and Hines had been linked with a Harley-Davidson brand previously the past few seasons of Racing King of Baggers. Indian, thank you. Indian is no longer going to be affiliated with S&S. They're going to be sponsored by Vance and Hines. And their team is going to consist of Troy Herfoss, Hayden Gillum, and Rocco Landers. Now, Gillum and Landers were both on Harley-Davidsons last year, racing for RevZilla. They're going over to Indian. I don't know if at RevZilla, I know Vance and Hines was involved in another Harley team. It may have been part of that RevZilla team. Maybe Gillum and Rocco Landers come with Vance and Hines to the Indian side. But that brings me a couple of questions. Is S&S getting out of racing altogether? Is another company going to step up and work with Harley-Davidson on another part of that team? What's happening to Loris Baz and Tyler O'Hara? Tyler O'Hara brought Indian a couple championships. So now we have Troy Herfoss, Hayden Gillum, and Rocco Landers on Team Indian, as I just said. That's Vance and Hines as a title sponsor. What is there only going to be one Indian team? Is this a phase that Indian is going to scale back maybe their race team, get a bunch of R&D done in-house, or maybe through Vance and Hines? I mean, they know what their motor product is. They run the Power Plus. That's a design Indian has had for years and years and years and years. So is Vance and Hines a better R&D partner for them than S&S was? I mean, they're probably never going to run a straight S&S motor, but S&S makes other aftermarket parts. They make cam chests and cams and lifters and tappets and, push rods. They make all that stuff for engines. But if you're going to run that power plant system, is Vance and Hines on the tuning side and the aftermarket side linking up with Indian, allowing them to do some development and maybe push their aftermarket? Because that's a cry from the Indian folks that there's not enough aftermarket support. But this is very interesting because you have Mike Kennedy now as the new CEO of Indian, standalone, their own company, as they are not part of, Polaris, whatever anymore. But Mike Kennedy was at one time the CEO at Vance and Hines. as well as Rumble On. So he's been in the motorcycle industry, but he is very familiar with what happens at Vance and Hines. So you have to think this is a strategic play. He also was at Harley Davidson for over 20 years. He knows what the affiliation with Vance and Hines and Harley Davidson has been. What's your thoughts on that? What do you think? I mean,
I think that this is probably the way that they're going to take to answer the cry for more aftermarket parts. Maybe scaling back this racing team to, not have as many things going on for Indian, especially with the new CEO, is probably a part of that strategic move, I think, because like you mentioned, this is going to allow them a bigger budget to focus on the R&D. They can have that little bit of testing to do with a smaller race team and not have to worry about, a big money thing. This is from my thoughts, at least. I could be completely wrong, but I see that as their way to test, make sure, and then put products out that are going to be aftermarket or even some upgrades onto some floor model bikes, But I don't want to see either Loris or Tyler, I hope they get picked up by another team. Those are, some good riders, especially Tyler O'Hare. He brought them some championships, Indian in the past. So another thing is this S&S, are they getting out of racing? I hope not. I mean, hopefully they come and utilize Harley Davidson, and Harley kind of teams up with them, or they make a factory team or something with them. So
they could even be running an Indian team that's not factory.
Yeah.
We know factory race teams cost a lot of money. Like the whole KTM debacle.
Yeah.
As KTM is struggling as a company, and they had purchased all these dirt bike lines. They purchased Husqvarna. They've purchased Gas. They do KTM, and in the dirt bike world, KTM is suffering, as well as on some street performance and things. And people are saying, listen, it's because they went and joined MotoGP, and they're putting $250 million into racing. Mm-hmm. By the time you look at MotoGP, some other the flat track they're in now, as well as Supercross and Motocross and Enduro Cross and other factory racing teams, is like, you've got a company that could be struggling, and you're looking at upwards of $200 million just going to racing. Racing is expensive. You do get some bang for your buck out of that if you can bring that to consumers. But at the same time, I don't think S&S is going to go away from racing. I just wonder what's going to happen there. Is this truly just the factory Indian team linked up with linked up with Vance and Hines? Man, Harley Davidson on the brain. Linked up with Vance and Hines, just like Harley Davidson's factory is with DynoJet.
Yeah.
I mean, is that the brand? And then you're going to see the Revzillas and the other companies that are putting together race teams just using a Harley Davidson product, or another conglomerate of teams using an Indian bike as their platform with a little bit of factory help, but not having the factory or the motor company of Indian having to foot all this cost for racing.
So that brings up the question, though: is there only one Indian team this year? Or this coming racing season?
The only thing that's been announced is the factory Indian team is no longer with S&S. They're affiliated with Vance and Hines, and their three racers are Troy Herfoss, Hayden Gillum, and Rocco Landers, which I find interesting because Hayden Gillum's ridden Harley Davidson in King of the Baggers while he was there. So jumping on an Indian, I wonder what that's going to feel like. And I mean, these guys are professional racers. They're looking for a seat. They love a brand. They love that brand that's on their back that's paying their paycheck. But they're looking for a seat to race. That's what they do. They're looking for a place to work. And they take their talents where they are. You see it in dirt bikes all the time. I mean, we've been Eli Tomac guys since he raced green. Mm-hmm. And this year he's on an orange bike. He went to KTM. He's went Yamaha. He's rode Hondas. Those guys change brands a lot. So do these guys swap around brands? And I mean, if you're a motor company, rider input's huge. If you're Indian and you're looking to be more competitive, and Hayden Gillum can say, hey, this is where you're losing ground to the Harley Davidson I came off of. Okay, that's rider feedback. That's not an engineer in a lab. That's seat time and on a stopwatch right there. So I think the biggest thing for us is competition just breeds so many great things. I hate to see teams go away. I hate to see racing lose corporate sponsorship if, in fact, other companies deem that it's not viable for them anymore. I get it, but there are different spending budgets, and some companies will dabble in racing and some companies won't. But that being said, I think for an upcoming King of Baggers year, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
That Indian has changed its lineup of riders as well as its corporate title sponsor being Vance and Hines.
Yeah, and you got to have we don't want Indian to leave King of Baggers, even though we are Harley Davidson fans and we're going to root for the Harley Davidson teams. You just don't want to not have competition between brands. That's what's going to drive the racing and making it a lot more interesting to run. You don't want to just see 100 road glides riding against each other and seeing which aftermarket brands got the better team. I want to see which brands got the faster bike that week or who's got what. So, yeah, that's awesome. I would love to see some other brands try to get in on this King of the Baggers racing too. I mean, that would just be cool, and that's going to just make the sport grow bigger. But also, you're going to see more battling between brands and see some great races.
I mean, if you see a BMW enter the world of racing, I don't think they have anything to prove there.
No.
But if they decided they want to jump in bagger racing, they have baggers. I mean, their super bike is amazing.
Yeah. What if we saw some of the metric bikes join in? I mean, Honda, they have cruiser bikes. They have Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha. They all have a cruiser style motorcycle.
And I mean, the Goldwing now has a bagger. It doesn't have it's the bagger edition Goldwing. I mean, so if you get in the displacement areas and you run what has to be stock to get in those, you get in those. But I mean, there's some companies that don't feel they need to race and in certain products, and that's fine. But Honda is a racing company, so is Suzuki, so
and
is
all of
Kawasaki,
those,
is Yamaha.
All of those brands, BMW included, they have bikes in the superbike and MotoGP areas. So why not bring another model that you're producing already that's a bagger style bike? Hey, there's a whole new racing team for them. And maybe not even make it a factory team, like we know they're expensive. But what if they're able to fund a company, like an aftermarket company, or give a couple bikes? Yeah, hey, put our name out there and see what you can do with this frame.
I mean, you look at this and you think, look at the RR, the Harley RR is $150,000.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's as close to a race bike as you're ever going to see in person on the street, and that's not the race bike. That has a ton of input from the race bike. I mean, you're talking $10,000 to $20,000 swing arms. You're talking wheels you can't get. You're talking. I mean, you're talking
probably brake pads you can't get.
There are things on that race bike that you just can't have access to. I remember when we were big into motocross, and I mean, you're going and buying a $10,000 dirt bike, and you go to the track and watch a supercross event, and those guys in the shop tell you, a race bike at a supercross event is an $80,000 to $100,000 bike, and they've got 6 in a trailer. And they're one team of that factory that maybe there's 5 of them, or of that factory brand. But I mean, you're trying to go ride around here on a bike and having a blast. But your bike is 1/10 of the cost of that race bike. And that doesn't count the team, the people that are getting paid to run that team, the guy that gets paid to haul that stuff up and down the road. I mean, racing's expensive.
Yeah.
Hobbies are expensive. You add racing, and I mean, even you look at your regular Harley, the more performance you throw at your bike, the more maintenance you need. It becomes a little more expensive to have that smile on your face. So, but that's just where we are. That's what we do. Give me your input. I mean, I'm not hating on Indian. I don't want Indian to go away. I want Indian to make a great bike. I want Indian's bike to be so good that Harley guys start looking at them and saying, man, if I ever felt like Harley abandoned me as a rider or a level of bike I want to ride, that Indian makes a good enough product that I could support that brand. But, you know, I'm not there. I've sat on Indians. I don't think the fit and finish is there. I mean, they build power. They do make a good looking bike, but I'm a Harley guy. So I'm sorry. I'll just always buy them until they prove to me I shouldn't buy them anymore.
We're going to root for any American company.
Yeah, we're going to root for those guys to succeed. We just have our favorite. Are you a Ford guy or a Chevy guy or a Ram guy? That's how motorcycles are.
So now after talking about all of that racing and things, we've brought back another gift list. And if you've listened to our past episodes and watched our past videos, we've been talking about Christmas gifts ideas for bikers with a different budget every time. This week, we're up to our this must be a pretty special person to you budget, because this is going to be your Christmas gifts for that biker in your life or Harley-Davidson enthusiast under $500. Now, under or up to $500. These gifts are going to be some pretty important things. I'll go ahead and tell you that it's probably something that you might want their help to pick it out for them, or they need to be very specific on what they want and the size they are and all that stuff. So, without further ado, Dad, kick us off with the first item.
Now, the first item you can look for that's under $500, but you can easily spend over $500 is a helmet. But I think you can find a helmet that definitely meets your needs. It's comfort, it's quiet, it's rated what you want. You can find an ECE rated helmet. You want a full face, you want a modular. You can easily find a helmet that fits under that $500 range. And right now, everybody is running Black Friday deals for 15-20% off. I saw a thing today where you can get $100 off of the Shoei Neotech 3 on a website. I mean, that's a $900 helmet, but that gets it down to $800. And, you know, if you want to stretch that budget, I mean, we didn't go $1,000, but with that being said, we've looked at a lot of helmets between $240 and $400 that meet our needs, that are on our go try on list for when we upgrade helmets. So I think a helmet's a great place to start. If you have that person that says, hey, I'm looking at a helmet, don't be surprised when you pull out that price, or if they say, hey, if you're going to get me one thing, I would like the helmet in this brand, and this one, and you write that down, and then you go pull out your phone or your laptop to order it. Or you're a biker, or you ride a lot, and you're thinking about buying your significant other a helmet. You're going to know what the prices are, but you're going to know what you're getting. Make sure you do your research. Make sure if they tell you a certain brand, they've probably tried it on. Helmet shapes are all different, and they know their size and things. So a helmet is definitely something you can look to get under $500.
Yep. This is definitely one of those items that you should know. What that person wants if you're going to get from a gift, like you said. But these are great, and yeah, you can find them. You know, I have a helmet that I trust, and it is just as good as anything else I've tried on, and it's not at that $500 top. But there's some also great helmets that are right at and above the $500. But $500 or just under it is a great range to get a good helmet that's going to be safe, comfortable, and all the colors and designs you could think of. So coming in at our second item that we've talked about is boots or riding shoes, you know. These are a great gift. Everybody knows that they say the safest, thing to ride in on your feet should be an over-the-ankle boot. Lace up, slip on. I guess that's kind of a personal preference. I'm a lace up. I like lace up boots. I don't want them flopping around on my feet, especially when it comes to riding. But good boots are going to add an extra, level of protection on their feet on the road, but they can be way more comfortable. It allows you to not have all of the wind coming up your pants leg. That rider's going to appreciate it. And you can go not even a full, work boot or boot style. There's brands that make, boots that look a little bit more stylish and, regular everyday wear. Made for riding, like reinforced in areas that are going to be, where your foot pegs sit on your feet, and they're built to withstand a slide or impact and all that stuff. Harley Davidson actually produces shoes. A good way, if you're going to buy a motor company from Harley product, they have a difference. They have, regular just Harley Davidson branded shoes, and then they also have shoes and boots that are like designed for riding. And if there's orange on the sole, that indicates that they're a riding boot. Now, sometimes that's like a full orange bottom, orange in the middle of the treads, or sometimes just the Harley Davidson emblem, bar and shield in the bottom of the boot is orange. But that's a good way to know. And if you go in your dealer, they'll be able to tell you that. I was told that like right when I first got my first Harley Davidson at a dealership, someone that was helping me told me that. And they pointed it out because I asked where their, section of riding shoes were. And they said, we don't have a full section, but if you look and there's any orange on the sole, that's going to let you know it's like designed for riding and not just everyday wear. So you put your input in on this because you ride in boots a little bit more often than I do.
I like how Xander said when he bought his first Harley Davidson, he's only had one.
Right when I bought mine.
But I'm telling you right now, that just shows you that the plan is to own multiple and probably multiple at the same time because we think a lot alike. But I just love that slip of the tongue was when I bought my first Harley Davidson. So I love that. But he saved me from keep saying Harley Davidson when I'm in Indy a while ago. So anyway, boots. I ride in, and we're not sponsored by this company, but I love this boot. I ride in Thorogood, like shop boots with the wedge bottom so my heel doesn't get caught. I love those boots. They are lace up. They're super comfortable. The biggest thing about riding in boots and riding shoes is when you're off your bike, are they comfortable to be around, walk around in? Mm-hmm. You probably just aren't riding to where you're going and turning around and going back home. You're going to ride somewhere, get off your boot, walk around. We've ridden in, you do motocross, you have motocross boots. They're not comfortable to walk around in.
You're not wanting to walk around
They're just
anywhere.
to fix your ankle so you're not banging it off a tree or breaking it as you're flying through the air. And, that bike moves around under you a lot more. This is more for that protection. You want it to be up over your ankle if you can. It just keeps rocks from dinging you, but it's got to be comfortable to wear on and off your bike. The most common ones, I see a lot of guys ride in boots like I wear. Brunt, Thorogood, those brands like that. But Indy Ridge makes a great riding boot. They're even waterproof or weatherproof. They make some that are vented for summer riding, so they're all leather, but it like breathes so the wind gets through your feet. That's a very, very common riding style shoe to boot over ankle. I would love to try those. So if anybody from Indy Ridge is watching our video, get in contact with us. I'd love to try a pair of your boots or just try them and leave a review or whatever. And I'm not begging for product, but that was actually a boot that I was looking at when I bought my Thorogoods, but I use those boots for more than just riding. And I would have just used the Indy Ridge for riding. But listen, guys, I am the biggest guy. I will ride in Vans. I will ride in Chuck Taylors. I ride. I would love to tell you I ride in boots all the time, and I'm all about the gear. I'm becoming more aware of needing to have the gear on. But I ride in Vans a lot because I love the grip on my pegs and things like that. So you don't have to spend $500 on a pair of Vans. But the two pair of boots that I looked at when I bought my Thorogoods and those Indy Ridge, you're looking $200, $225,
$300,
maybe up to $290. Yeah, but there's other brands. But a solid place to be for boots is definitely under $500. You're probably looking under $300.
Yeah, I would go ahead and give this tip too if you're wanting to buy boots for somebody that's a rider in your life. I know a lot of people that have done this too. Is they have a specific kind of work boot they like, and they'll go and buy that brand like just without like a steel toe and the full blown working. If they know they like that brand, they know they like that fit that it gives. Like your Thorogoods are not steel toe or anything. I know a couple guys that work in Thorogoods all day long, and then they have non-steel toe everyday wear Thorogoods that they ride in and do everything else in. So that's just a little tip. I'm not saying that's what you should do, Yeah, but like there's, full blown like riding boot brands, and then you have your work boot brands, and where those are going to be better than one, I couldn't tell you.
I've ridden in Justin like cowboy boots with
Me
the
as
rubber
well.
sole.
I've ridden into Covids.
I
I've
would
ridden in
much.
everything.
I like riding in my wedge bottom like shop boots better than the boot with a heel on it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't like that hanging on a peg. I like to be able to. I ride still with regular pegs. I don't have extensions or they're not extra wide. But I like the ability to put my feet up. I do have a highway bar. I don't love the feeling that when my heel feels like it's hooking on there.
And there are guys that like that feeling.
There are guys that love that locked in feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I do not.
No.
So I'm probably more of a wedge bottom, a flat, like a shop boot type of guy. But you see lots of guys, and there's lots of Harley brand boots that have a heel like a logger or a hiking boot and stuff that will fit on a floorboard, and guys love them. I get it, but that's just not who I am, and that's not what I love to ride in. So the next thing on the list is going to be a jacket. Again, that's a lot of times that's pretty rider specific. You'll need to know the size. You'll need to know if they want leather or mesh or armored or whatever. But now is a great time. There are tons of jackets on sale. Harley Davidson's running a sale. First manufacturing companies running a big sale.
Let me interrupt you real quick, and maybe not even jackets. Maybe they just want a vest just for the wind protection on their chest. You know, but continue.
Yeah. Again, you're looking at jackets that are $300 to $400, and right now they're running deals that are $150, $200. I mean, I saw on Harley's website they were running a jacket that's usually like $350, $375 on there. It's like $250 right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, their jackets get up there because some of them are reinforced in the elbow. They'll run some back armor.
Yeah.
So those are heavy. And they're going to protect you in the slide. They're very thick leather, but they're also breathable. They have vents that zippered through, so you can ride in those jackets. A lot warmer weather than you would believe, but they also do a great job in the cold weather. But you're going to get a good jacket. You're going to get what you pay for. I mean, you'll see a lot of Cordura nylon jackets with armor in them, like adventure guys wear and things. You're going to see your regular jackets, your Alpine Stars and stuff like that, your mesh ones that guys like to ride in summertime. But now's a good time to pick those jackets up because Black Friday, they're going to be on great
There are
sales.
some companies that are I can't think of the name right now, but I've seen them on Instagram a lot, is they're starting to make like streetwear style hoodies and, like zip
Beyond
up
the
jackets,
Rider and stuff.
that are armored, and they are still. I mean, you're looking at it looks like it's a regular plain black hoodie, like your average Carhartt hoodie or something, but it's got your body armor in it for riding. But it's $200-$300,
Kevlar line.
Yeah, Kevlar line, armored, designed to be safe
for the
and
slide.
take a slide.
They're built for the slide. But they look contemporary. Like you're going to hop off your bike and you walk in and eat dinner in that, and it just looks like you got a sweatshirt jacket on unless somebody comes up and feels it. But they make those that are flannels, like riding shirts. I mean, a riding shirt that with that material in it is $150, and I don't like to wear the same shirt every time I ride. So
No.
But again, jackets, vests. Again, these companies are running great deals. But to add on to that, it's cold weather. You can look at getting some heated gear.
Heated gloves, heated grips if they are interested in that. But yeah, your heated gear, heated gloves, and even heated jackets. I mean, when we say gear, there's literally full blown like one piece heated suits and everything. You see that on a lot of adventure bike guys. They'll have those. Look like a rain suit, but it's also heated.
Plug in like USB to your battery.
Mm-hmm. And then, you've got your heated gloves. You're starting to see those now a lot. They're becoming common. It's an alternative to having heated grips because that can get expensive or inexpensive. Same with the gloves. But heated jackets are awesome. I have a Milwaukee heated jacket that takes like the M12. The small Milwaukee batteries. Looks like just a regular zip-up hoodie, but press of a button and it starts producing heat. It's kept me warm in the colder weather riding more than I thought it would. And it's thin and not big and puffy, and I can move around in it. And it worked just fine. But heated gear, that's a great option and a good way to, get that rider in your life, a gift that they could use to extend their riding season a little bit.
I was digging around, and it looks like a brand like Kimimoto.
Yeah.
You can get a Kimimoto heated glove right now anywhere from $60 to $100. Another company that's big in guys wearing them are I think it's Behringer or whatever, close to that. It's a B word, whatever. Again, we're not sponsored. We're just talking. Those tend to be those heated gloves, those heated pants, those heated jackets. They tend to be $200 to $400. The gloves coming in around $175 to $225, depending on the type of glove. Is it a gauntlet? Is it waterproof? Is it just heated? There's a lot of those, and some of those plug in to themselves. Like the gloves will plug into the jacket. A jacket will plug into your USB cords, and that's how you keep it charged. Or they'll have just simple battery packs that you put in a turn on, and that you can charge USB off of your body, just like you would charge your comm system or whatever. But you can get heated gloves, heated jackets, heated pants, heated gear. Again, you're looking, if you're going to go in and get a whole heated set, you might be $500 plus. But again, everywhere right now has Black Friday deals, and all this stuff is on sale. So let's look at some stuff for bikes. What do you think?
Yeah, a great slot for this budget would be risers and bars. The number one thing that they're wanting to do, anybody wants to do to their bike to make it their own, make it fit them a little bit better, is risers and bars. A lot of guys, that's their first upgrade they do to a bike. And some people do that upgrade before they even bring the bike home, But if you are wanting to get them a gift that they're going to love, and any biker is going to want it because it's going to make them, it's going to set their bike apart, change the way it looks, change the way it feels, make it fit them a little bit better, risers and bars. Black Friday, going on right now, and your Cyber Monday sales, this is a great time to pick up those bars and risers because they're not cheap, but they're also not expensive. That's why they're kind of in this $500 range. You're going to be able to get them, anywhere from that $200 to right at the $500 range. I actually picked my bars and risers up during a Black Friday deal, and I didn't get to put them on until the following summer, but that's when I got mine, and I got mine for way cheaper than what they should have been. But this is a great gift for any rider.
Yeah, we like Thrashing stuff. Yeah. And I was just on Thrashing's website, and it's their biggest sale of the year is Black Friday, always. And it just started. And you can get bar and risers set up with the solid bushings, and it's right at about $510. So if you don't do the bushings, which are $20 or so, $25, or if you do a different finish, but if you do a chrome 9.5-inch riser and then a mid to high bend bar for my Dyna, I was right at that $500 mark. And usual price, that's around $675, so you're saving $175. But this is something that if you're just flipping through and somebody says, hey, I'm just going to buy my boyfriend, husband, girlfriend bars and risers for their bike, you better make sure it's the type they want or they like.
Yeah.
But if they mention, hey, I'd like to have bars and risers for my bike, if you're going to get me something for my bike, these are just the times to do that as a present. If you're looking to buy yourself a present, this stuff's all on sale right now, and it's cheaper than it's going to be any time of the year. Again, last year, we bought soft bags during Black Friday. I bought my soft bags and your soft bags. They were present for you. I knew I was getting mine, but your mom wrapped them up and gave them to me. And so they were regular 250, 275. I think we got them for $199 a piece. So we were right in there for our soft bags that we use every time we ride. So that could be something that's an easy accessory to a bike that's a non-bagger.
Soft bags were actually our next thing we were going to talk about, so I'm glad you rolled into that. But that's a good thing to pick up now, especially like you said on Black Friday. That's going to give them a little bit extra storage, or if you're riding on the back with them and that's your rider that you want to give them, hey, you could be like my girlfriend that rides with me. She loves that I have bags on the back seat now because she can just reach over and hit a zipper and put her phone or wallet, whatever she wants, and she's carrying it right in it there. Or, you know, who knows? She's always got a jacket. She's always got an extra shirt or something in there. But yeah, so if you're thinking about getting soft bags for your rider, that can also kind of be a gift for you along with them, because they're going to love it and it's going to allow them to put things like we keep in our saddlebags, tools, you know, tire kits and everything like that. And that is going to be probably the most used gift for their bike, and maybe a little bit underappreciated or overlooked. That's going to be a very great gift to be looking at this holiday season.
Great time to get these on a deal. Another thing you can buy that person in your life, if they have a touring bike with hard bag storage liners. They are made by like Hogworks and companies like that make aftermarket. These are just liners that go in those hard bags that also have storage compartments. So when you put things in those bags, they may not rattle around. They have a designated space. It helps keep them clean of clutter, and you can easily see what you've got going on in there. They also make liners and storage things for the tour packs, all sizes of the tour pack if you're going with that situation. And they're usually higher quality. I say Hogworks because that's what I've seen the most of. That people use and have hit my advertising most recently the past couple of days. But they're like diamond stitched. You can get them to match your seat, things of that nature. But it's a reputable company. They come very much in line with your bags. They're all laser fit and laser cut, and they drop right in. And some of them even that you buy, like if you pull up at a hotel, the inside of that liner where you've got all your stuff stored is zip, and you just zip it closed, and it has handles, and it'll lift out and go right into your hotel room with you. So
the top part that flips open with the saddlebag is also like a zipper top, and it's got a handle hidden in it. Yeah, those are nice. And if I had a big bagger right now that was running hard bags, that's probably something I would look into wanting for sure, because like you mentioned, it's going to keep that noise of rattling down. Give it a little bit of a better look whenever you open it up. Especially if you do one that's going to be aesthetically pleasing, like looking to your, matching your, seat or something. But that's a great gift. That's going to be something that's, pretty cool. That was actually your idea. I didn't even think about those, but I had seen them, and they're not going to be hard to find, and they're going to love them. So our next gift is going to be a comm system. Go, Cardo or Sena. We both run the I run the Cardo. I say both. That's when I say both. Me and my girlfriend are both running Cardos on our helmets. I got hers not as a Christmas gift, but for a birthday, and she loves it. So I know it's going to work as a Christmas gift. You can find those on deals. You can find them in 2-packs. You can buy a single, which is what I did at first, but I wish I'd have bought 2 at the time when I did, to put one on her helmet. She rode for a while. But that could be gifts for multiple people, or, you and your rider, if you're someone riding together, a couple or something. That's great gifts for each other. That's going to allow you to be able to listen to your music. You can talk through them. You can talk on the phone, everything. I mean, it basically brings like the ability to speak and listen to music and communicate like you can in a car into your helmet, which is nice, and we use it all the time. Go, you carry on with this.
I run a Sena. I'm going to switch to Cardo in my next helmet. I just think the interface is a lot easier. I I'm not a fan now of the all-in-one combined. I would rather have a standalone system in my helmet, because if it's built in and something goes wrong and you're still running that helmet, it's one of my speakers is a little softer now riding in my helmet, but that's neither here. That's not the company's issue. That's just a wear and tear issue. But I think the Cardo interface system is a whole lot easier. And I just was looking today, and Cardo's running a deal on multiple websites, like 25% off. And I think you run the Edge.
I run the
Talk?
Freecom 4X.
The Freecoms are anywhere like, I want to say 275.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I saw the Pack Talk single for 325, and I think a double, like a 2-pack, was running a deal right at 499 or right a little bit over north of 500.
Yeah.
But again, if you're going to throw an extra couple bucks, those operate in a mesh system. Like
not my Freecom. My Freecom is a Bluetooth only, and the 4X is supposed to be able to run up to 4 people.
Yeah.
And now I kind of wish I would have went with the upgrade to the Pack Talk.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't on sale when I bought mine, though.
Yeah.
So if I could have got it now, especially during the holiday season where we're running the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, that's something that I would go ahead and tell you to look into, and maybe taking that little bit of an extra step into that Pack Talk upgrade.
It depends how you run, because
it's true.
there's
That's
different
very
levels.
true.
Your Pack Talk will allow you to connect 4 to 6 riders or something, and then the biggest Cardo Pack Talk Mesh System Pro, it'll do 10 riders, and it's up to like a mile of separation, and it even has crash detection, where if you go down and your Cardo senses that you're down, it automatically calls like the person you've programmed on your phone as your first emergency contact to let them know you've been in an accident. That's pricey, but it's probably well worth it if you're dealing with something like that. If somebody throws you a $300 or $400 gift card and they don't know what to buy you, and you're looking to upgrade that stuff, you throw that with these prices. And but do you need the Pro? I don't know. We don't ride with 10 people.
No.
We ride. It's usually the 2 of us and maybe a buddy or 2.
Yeah.
I mean, if we just had Cardos that would connect up to 4, that'd be fine. We just don't ride in bigger groups than that. And even if you ride in a bigger group and they were connected to others, and you could relay information, hand signals and things like that in larger groups. But it's the ability to listen to your music, listen to your phone, communicate in between me and you, or other riders, whatever. But Cardo, you can get those systems anywhere from a little south of 300 all the way up probably. I mean, the biggest, baddest ones are probably close to 1,000 if you buy a couple of them. But I don't know that you're looking at that. The $1,000 range gives you a lot of things you can put on your motorcycle. And I think next week we'll bring you the $1,000 dream ideas from us. And they're going to be pretty pricey and things I don't want to buy for myself. So if somebody wanted to buy them for me, I'd love to have them. But the last thing on this list, and we didn't have it written down, I was just thinking is, earlier you said the thing you're probably going to change the most on your bike is your bars and risers. And then the next thing I've got on that situation of that list is your seat. I mean, if you have somebody that's recently purchased a motorcycle and they're saying, man, I'd like to have a new seat. I looked. If you got a new bagger, 23 and a half and above, a Harley-Davidson bagger, a road sofa's $495. If you get the straight color one, no additional this, no additional that. Our step-up seats, my step-up seat I got last year, the tuck and roll that I run on my Dyna, it was right at I think I got a deal from $495 to $475, but I picked a custom stitching. I did red stitching on mine. So seats are not cheap, but they will totally transform your ride. And if you're a 2-up passenger, it seems like we're dealing a lot with we think we have a lot of females that listen to our show or whatever tonight. If you ride 2-up, think about your passenger. That upgraded seat is way better for them as well. If you just ride solo, that seat upgrade is huge. So you can easily tell your significant other, hey, I'm looking for a seat. This is the brand. They're all on sale right now. If my budget's this is what I'd like to have. And lay it out for them and let them know. But under $500, I think this covers a pretty big gambit of what you can buy. If you're looking to buy something for your son, daughter, friend, brother-in-law, your best riding buddy, and you guys have a budget and y'all roll like that and sling gifts around, feel free to look at things like this. You can look at windshields if you have a bagger and things like that.
Yeah.
And if you're going to shop merch, let's do a little plug here. If you're going to shop merch, check out our buddies over at rollingthrottle.com. Drew and Jake will take care of you. They offer a lot of products for Clockworks. They've offer everything on their website in every price range we've said. They've got exhausts that are going to be the 1,000 we're going to talk about next week. They've got Clockwork windshields. They've got other windshields. They've got things that are in that $500 range. They've got cleaning kits, slip-ons. They do
a lot of things that we've mentioned in past videos.
The guys over at Rolling Throttle will get you covered. So I had talked back and forth with Drew this week, and he had watched the show, and he's like, "Tell it they need to buy merch at Rolling Throttle." So I got you, big dog. We like those guys. We like what they're doing. If you're not listening to Rolling Throttle and you're listening to us, you better go check them out, because they got the ins and the outs, and they got the knows about some things that are coming. And we just pull up to the table and listen to what he's sharing, and it's an awesome thing. So if you're looking for merch and you're looking for some of these products, go over to Rolling Throttle and check them out and see what they can offer you first, and then hit your other. If they don't have it, then go visit your other places you're looking to buy from. JP Cycle, other places,
Revzilla.
Dennis Kirk, Revzilla, those things. That's
All of
where
those
we go.
places have deals going on right now.
Cycle Gear. We've looked Speed Addicts.
Check your local.
We're not
if you've got
affiliated with any of that, but if you got a local shop,
check
go
them
buy
out.
local.
Small businesses.
Absolutely. And if you're in the helmet market and you're not looking at Daytona helmets to go find one to try on and compare to what you think you want to pay for a premium or a luxury helmet, you're doing yourself a disservice. I really want to go put one of those on because everything I'm seeing is fantastic about them, and I really want to try one. But that being said, there's our Christmas list of under $500. It's just suggestions. I'm sure you can find lots of other things. But this leads me to tonight. More people are talking about what they're expecting with the January 14th release. And we said last week, we're done speculating with the January 14th release. I know that there are far more in tune people that provide content in this arena for motorcyclists than we do that know more about what's coming in January 14th,
Yes.
2026, Harley Davidson's Chapter 2. Again, our Rolling Throttle guys, we're at a Harley invite-only meeting. Drew has begun a whole series. He's going to lead it up through the release on January 14th of what he felt the tone was in that meeting. And I totally enjoyed last week's episode. It was talking about a shift. When he was there, he just kept feeling like a shift was coming in Harley Davidson. And he's been around that industry. You don't get invited to things like that you don't know what you're doing. So that's what I said. I'm going to sit back and default and not speculate anymore about what I expect or would love to see in January. I'm going to let the other guys, the other content creators, guys that know more and have more, ins and outs with the motor company that know things, lead into that, whatever they want to leak, wherever they want to drive that conversation, because I think they're a little more educated to it than I am.
Yeah.
And I don't mind being not the smartest guy in the room. That's when you learn the most. So I learn from those guys. But my one question, we're going to the last segment of the night, is one question, and you didn't know this was coming until a little bit earlier today. is the speculation and the drop is that we are getting, for the first time, a Street Glide CVO ST. Does that get a look from you as a possible bike? We talk a lot about road glides, but does a Street Glide CVO ST, if you're not concerned about if the price doesn't scare you off, does a Street Glide CVO ST draw some interest from you?
I think absolutely.
Okay.
Seeing some performance enhancements on the Road Glide, especially this new model of the Batwing fairing, is going to be
Street
awesome.
Glide.
Yeah.
The Street Glide with the Batwing fairing.
Yeah.
We've seen the Road Glide ST.
Yeah.
If they do some of the similar things to the Street Glide, that's what I'm saying. We usually are typical Road Glide
If this
guys.
comes, so yeah, like if this is coming straight from like the Road Glide ST, is it getting T-bars upgraded on the performance, like performance focused and limited numbers? Yeah, I think it gets a look, absolutely. Do they bring it with like some mini T-bar setup? Like the Road Glide ST doesn't have huge tall T-bars, and they're running more of a higher bend bar to give you still the ability to use your screen and things. If they can incorporate a T-bar setup to allow them to still use your screen, but you have the performance upgrades of the T-bars, that's awesome. Now with the new fairing, I don't know how they'll be able to do that. I don't know what they'll have to work on it. But that is cool to me. A performance model for the Road Glide, Street Glide, I mean, absolutely. It already looks good on the Street Glide. Tell me it wouldn't look good on the Street Glide. I think that would definitely get looks from me. What do you think?
Yeah, I always thought I was a Street Glide guy
Yeah.
until recently we sat on some, and the new ones came out, and I hate the factory bars.
Yeah.
And I used to hate the factory bars on the Road Glide. They felt like wheelbarrows, handles way out here and low. And then this year, I think the Street Glide felt like that. But I thought the Road Glide had great factory bars to begin with. I mean, you're going to change bars. You're going to change things on your bike. That's fine. CVOs, then the question is, do you mess with it? It's a CVO. So I think if you're going to buy a CVO, you better be willing to live with how it comes, stock. You might put exhaust on it, make it a little louder, but you're getting the power plant that's proven.
Yeah.
It gets up and down. I mean, the Road Glide CVO ST is amazing. The performance on it is great. Inverted forks, upgraded brakes, upgraded sound equipment, special colors. I mean, you go paint a bike, you might be $5,000 to $10,000 in painting a bike. I mean, I saw a breakdown of a guy that took his Street Glide he brought in 2024, and he's created it like he wanted, and he's at $44,000.
Yeah.
And it's a stock color, it's a base color. Like it's whatever he could get was a color upgrade, but it was a Street Glide, just a Street Glide.
Yeah.
And now he's got it to where he likes it, but it still doesn't have inverted forks. It still doesn't have the brake upgrade. It still is a stock, not fancy color or a limited production color. And the CVO ST Road Glide last year was $44,000.
Yeah.
So he's built his bike to be what he wanted. It's still not as performance driven as the CVO ST. And he's at the same price. So his whole video was, hey, I think the CVO ST Street Glide is a better deal than what I've built. And it's the Professional Monkey guy on YouTube. I flip over and watch his stuff. He's entertaining. But he wasn't pulling punches. He wasn't laying out brands of, he didn't, sell out and talk about all the brand stuff he had put on, some things from the motor company, some things aftermarket. You know, he has some corporate people that he links up with for some things, but I mean, he was just basically saying, I bought a Street Glide and I threw 17 grand at it. And I think if I'd have bought a new CVO ST, there's more of it that I would love that didn't have to change and the performance would be better. It would have been a better deal for me.
Yeah.
But that bike didn't exist when he bought his new Street Glide. So I'm just saying, if you go in and the Street Glide CVO ST is banging,
and you're a Street Glide guy,
I think that's a hard look people are going to take. I think that bike's going to do better than
especially knowing that information that you said. You know, he's done everything he wanted to do to it to make it what he wants. And he's 17 grand at it, and he is at what the Road Glide ST costed stock.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can take all those parts and factor it into your payment off of the bike, if you're not going in with cash, you know, some people are financing. Most people are financing. Yeah. If you can go ahead and have that as your base, and you can afford it, and then the littler things that you want to change that aren't as expensive, you're still going to pay up front anyway. That's a heck of a deal.
Yep.
That's going to be a great way to look at that bike. And I'm with you. I believe it would do far better than they would think.
I think that bike is going to do well. It'll be a CVO, so there'll be limited numbers, limited paint runs. Depends on what colors they come in and things like that. But he's not the only guy on YouTube that's talking about the CVO ST Street Glide. And people are like, oh, man, now I've bought mine. It's a year or two old, and they bring this ST CVO out, and man, will it be worth it for me to trade out of what I have or sell what I have and go? So people are really weighing numbers. They're Street Glide guys. I still think I like the Road Glide because I like the distance to the Road Glide.
I used to not
is
like
away
that.
from my chest. I like it away from me. I'll just be honest right here. I've never ridden a Street Glide or a Road Glide in any capacity to see if I like a Batwing fairing or I like the shark nose fairing. I like it frame mounted. I like it fork mounted. You know, that comparison is something I don't think that will bother me to ride one where the fairing's either way. I just think I like the way the Street Glide is stretched out and it's away from me a little bit. That makes me not feel closed in.
Yeah. And I have not ridden the newer bikes, but I have ridden an older Street Glide, no Road Glides.
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable on a Road Glide, like sitting on one in a dealership or something, for that reason too. And I've ridden an older Street Glide before, and I did not like the feeling of it all being right there. Sitting down, parked, having it right here, yeah, I liked that. As soon as I was moving, I didn't like it being as close, you know, so.
I think the bar setup will be killer.
Yeah.
The bars will have to be one of the things that makes that bike.
Yeah.
As well as what the foot controls are. What is your riding triangle there? Because the CVO ST Road Glide comes with smaller floorboards, you know, different brake pedal, shifter pegs are a little different. That rider triangle is a little different, just where your hands are and things. But that being said, that was just one thing I wanted to throw out there because everybody says it's coming. And I just think that bike's probably going to get an extra long look from me if I see one sitting on the dealership floor.
Me too. Well, guys, after that, after that, I think we're just going to go ahead and tell y'all that Thanksgiving has come and gone by the time you're going to see this. So we hope you guys had a great one. We've had an awesome Thanksgiving, seen some good family and friends. We hope y'all have enjoyed it too. We're coming up on Christmas now, so it's the countdown to Christmas. And we hope y'all have enjoyed this episode. That's going to be all that we're going to talk about for today. We'll holler at y'all later.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Check us out on all our platforms. And as always, you riders, be blessed and be safe. We'll see you next time.